Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's third and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 13th of August. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and GFS Ensembles. Maybe around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS P2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. So that gets to the end of August. I'll get on that for you in a moment. Just say that first, a video release was a revamped and revitalised 6 a.m. forecast. So we've made a few changes, a few tweaks to 6 a.m. Forecast. Check it out, see what you think. I think it looks much fresher and really high quality forecast. So you all seem to be enjoying the 6 a.m. forecast of the changes that we've made. Thank you so much everybody for the lovely feedback that we've had on that. And also we've released European Outlook as well, so check out that one. Detailed forecast for next week, 10 days across Europe. Quite an interesting week to come. Going to be turning significantly hotter across many parts of Europe next week. We're going to find out how the chart's looking for us though, because as ever we're on the periphery, so we'll be tapping into that heat later next week. We'll have a look in a moment. Now, before I do anything else, I've got a birthday shout out to do. So happy birthday, hello, and happy birthday to Luke R. Hello to Luke R. Thank you so much to Luke for being a regular contributor to GavsWeatherVids in the comments and, you know, in the live stream, watching the videos, sharing videos, etc. And happy birthday to Luke. Hope you're having a lovely day, my friend. Hope you're having a birthday of your dreams. Thank you so much to Luke. And happy birthday. If you want to say happy birthday to Luke in the comments, that would be absolutely lovely. Right, okay, let's start off then. We're going to begin with the central temperature. As always, the CET is now sitting at 16.4, just 0.6 of a degree above 61.990 average. That's visual to yesterday, to the 2nd of August. I expect that to continue to reduce over the coming few days before perhaps lifting up later next week. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Looking at rugby today. Now, I would normally at that point say the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for rugby, but for some reason, unbeknown to me, the red line has actually disappeared on the chart today. So I'm not sure what's happened there, but I would have put my own red line in and say the red line would be somewhere around there. I think that's nice and straight, isn't it? I don't know, don't normally draw nice and straight like that. It's probably a little bit out, but you get the idea. But at the moment we're cooler than average down here. It does look as though we're going to get a warm-up taking place as we go into the last stages of next week up to the middle part of the month. How far we go with that remains to be seen. And then probably into the second half of August, cooling back down again closer to average. But I think this is the period to focus on. Just how warm or hot will it get? We have got some very hot GFS ensemble members. Some of them are going up to 20 degrees, 850 HPA. More of them clustering around 10 to 15 degrees, which will potentially get the temperature back to 30 Celsius down across south and into the southeast corner as well. So we have still got a few cooler ensemble down here, but it does a warm up is on the way. The question is how far will we go with it, and it looks like it will be relatively brief. You see how the white voltage ensemble means sort of lifts up and then quite quickly drops back again. So, no, yeah, a warm-up on the way. How far we go with it, how hot it gets, how long it lasts, you know, that's where the uncertainty is. Precipitation-wise, showers to come over the next day or so. This is the wet weather we're expecting on Saturday. Bit of a deluge and very strong winds, some parts of the country as well. Keep an eye on the 6 a.m. forecast for a detailed forecast on that in the next day or so. And but a little bit showery for the early part of next week as well. Then drier for a while as the temperature lifts up, but perhaps a thundery breakdown following quite quickly. And then back to showery conditions into the second half of the month. But of course that is extended range and is therefore a long way off. Temperature anomalies from the 3rd to 11th of August coming out a little bit below average. Precipitation anomalies from the 3rd to the 11th of August average to slightly wetter than normal, especially for more western regions. The latest Windflow Map from urbanoldschool.net shows that we're drawing down a northerly wind today. So we've got the wind in from the north as yesterday's low has cleared away to northern Europe, and that northerly wind will be bringing showers with it as well, and certainly a bit of a chill to the air. Right, let's start going through the chart data then. We saw the latest UK Met Euro roads looking for midnight on sunny, low pressure clearing off into the southern North Sea, leaving us in this cool and showery run of northwesterly to northerly winds. Through the early part of next week, high pressure ridges into south, brings something a little bit drier through there. Low pressure coming into the north and northwest keeps showery conditions going through there. And the UK Met Euro run keeps things relatively cool and showery. Actually, hold on. So that last chart, hang on, that last chart is wrong. That last chart is yesterday, so discount that. It looks like it hasn't updated. It's only updated to 144 hours today. So the latest chart we have from the UK Met Euro run is for Wednesday, the 9th of August. High pressure beginning to start ridging into the south, possibly threatening to bring a wind up from a southerly direction beyond that. Nothing inconclusive. Could go another day, though. I think we will find that the UK Met Euro would start to turn things hotter from the south. Icon, again, cool and very wet weather over the weekend, clearing off into the low countries and the continent through Sunday. High pressure trying to ridge into the south, probably turn things a bit drier in the south, though next week still looks rather cool, showery further north and west, though. And then to the middle of next week, we find that high pressure begins to ridge up from the south across Europe, turns the wind into a southerly direction. Hotter temperatures begin to push back into the south and to the southwest as well, and turning significantly warmer as we go into the second half next week. But not just warmer, but hotter, with winds coming up from the south. Look at this. The Icon model brings up plus 20 Celsius iceberg into much of central southern England as early as midnight on Thursday. Goodness gracious me. And through Thursday itself, turns very hot across England and Wales. Got plus 20 Celsius iceberg there across England and Wales, and so that would probably get the temperature to the mid-30s Celsius. I would have thought. We'll be interesting if it comes off. It probably won't be as hot as that. I think that's an outlier. We'll go for the rest of the day in a moment. But if that came off, I reckon that could get temperature mid-30s Celsius, and we'll be interested to see how far we went with that, how hot it got. Given that we've been through a prolonged spell of quite cool and wet weather, I doubt it would get the temperature into the upper 30 Celsius, but who knows? It certainly looks very hot there by next Thursday with Icon. GFS midnight run again, looking cool and showery on Sunday. Then we're into a westerly flow early next week. That keeps the cool, showery conditions going. Through the second half of next week, again, higher pressure building out to the east. Got a low pressure to the west. That starts to draw up this much warmer air from the south, turning hotter at the end of next week. Definitely into the low 30 Celsius for south and southeast with that, I would have thought. And then this area of low pressure quite quickly starts coming in from off Atlantic over the weekend of 12th, 13th August. So it is only a 1 or 2 day wonder. And then the low pressure comes in from the Atlantic, probably with a funky breakdown, and turns things cooler, more unsettled as the hot air gets shunted away to the east. And we're back into those cooler upper air temperatures off the Atlantic again. And then looking relatively cool and probably a bit showery as we go through the third week of August. The GFS 6 there, the very latest, again looks cool and very unsettled over the weekend. Into the early part of next week, stays quite cool and showery too. Then the second half next week, high pressure ridging over and to the east of the country, low pressure out to the west, winds coming up from a southerly or a southeasterly direction. The upper air temperature starting to lift up, but it's very quickly generating an area of low pressure close to the UK and Ireland. So although we do pull up some heat through Friday and Saturday, it looks like it's going to get pushed away really quick. But we do just about get plus 20 Celsius iceberg into far southeast corner there. GFS 6 there, but then it's gone. By Sunday 13th, the low pressure pushes through and starts to send that heat back into the continent again. Through the extended range, looks rather cool and showery once more with GFS 6M. If you enjoyed the video, please give you a like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. We thank you so much, everybody, for doing that for us. Okay, for GM, again, looking rather cool and showery on Sunday. Only part of next week sees mix, especially so central northern regions, a little bit dry and warmer down in the south. And then the second half of next week again finds high pressure building over the country. We don't actually tap into very hot upper air temperatures with the GFS, with the GM I should say. Most heat is kept at bay over France, but will be a lot warmer due to that high pressure taking over. So, of course, much more away sunshine, much lighter winds, not much away precipitation. So, the temperature would be lifting up there, probably into the mid, maybe upper 20s Celsius. And again, we're not all that far away from drawing up some very hot air that is sitting over France, plus 20 Celsius icebergs into northern France, plus 25 Celsius iceberg into southern parts of France. Will only take a slight adjustment, start drawing that in. But for actually, although it's not as hot, from like a more prolonged, drier spell, which I know a lot of you are waiting for, drier and warmer weather, the GM is the best actually of all the output, I think, because that's quite a strong, stable area of high pressure that is generating there. And then the ECM looks like this. So once more, the weekend looks unsettled courtesy of that area of low pressure. By midnight Sunday, we'll be sitting over the low countries. High pressure through the far south in the early part of next week, cool and showery further north. And then the middle to second half of next week starts to get that high pressure going to the east with low pressure out to the west, beginning to pull up the wind from a southerly direction. Hotter upper air temperatures moving northwards through Ireland and the UK with plus 15 Celsius iceberg, plus 20 Celsius iceberg into the south and into the southeast. But again, generates an area of low pressure to the north and west of the country, so quite quickly I reckon that heat is pushed away through next weekend. However, midnight Sunday still looking very warm in the far south and the southeast. The high pressure is trying to have a go at bridging back actually by day 10, and the heat is still there across the continent, so maybe we'll have another bite at the cherry to draw some of that northwards, I should say, sorry. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. And showery for the next couple of days, and then we're into this very wet weather on Saturday, proper wet and windy. A very poor Saturday to come. Into Sunday, again, it's a case of showery conditions, especially over northern and eastern regions. Showery weather persisting through to the early part of next week, particularly in central and northern regions, and then we're into something drier through the second half of next week, and also, briefly hotter as well. These are the options on the table within the ECM Ensemble today for day 10. Gets the 13th of August. From the Icelandic Met Office, 22 members of the ECM Ensembles with high pressure to our north, some lower pressure over to the west of the country, so that's probably drawing in something cooler and a little bit more unsettled into the south and the west. We've got 19th in control Operation Rome with high pressure sitting to the east, lower pressure or weaker pressure to the west, and that could keep wind coming from quite a warm southerly direction. And we've got 10 with high pressure going northwards, becoming quite a blocking feature with that low pressure to our west and south. But again, we're probably drawing up the wind from a southerly southeast direction. I think they all look quite warm, those options, at day 10. A little bit inconclusive about how settled they would be, though. And then in 2 weeks' time, this gets us to the 18th of August. These are the options that we've got. 23 members of the East Ensembles, then unsettled back to Atlantic-driven cool and showery conditions. We've got, so that's 23, Jim. I've got 18 just here with high pressure to our north, low pressure to our west and southwest. Again, probably bring up wind from a southerly type direction, and 10 with lower pressure to the north, higher pressure to the south. Again, that could be a little bit on the showery side, especially so for more northern and western regions. CFS V2 finally, these are 500 millibar height lines broken down to week periods. The first week period takes us from the 3rd to the 9th of August. The coming week looks unsettled with low pressure over to the east of the country and ridge out to the Atlantic. So cool north-northwesterly winds and also unsettled with showers or longer spells of rain. Week 2 is the 10th to the 16th of August. Low pressure again in from the Atlantic into west of Europe. That looks unsettled. It is in combination with a lot of high latitude blocking as well, which is not normally a particularly good sign. In summer, week 3 will be the 17th to 23rd of August. Again, high pressure is in the Atlantic and going into the Arctic. Low pressure is over the country, so once more that looks unsettled, particularly wet for more southern and western areas probably. And then week 4 is going to be the 24th to the 30th of August. Not great today from the CFS for the rest of August. Low pressure, trough of low, sit to our east. High pressure at the mid-Atlantic ridge out to our west. Still drawing in the wind from the north or northwesterly direction. Cool and showery conditions persisting there. Oh dear. Looks a little bit mixed for the rest of the August there with the CFS, and not much sign of a warm-up, is there? We'll see. If you enjoyed the video, please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. We thank you so much, everybody, for doing that for us. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this war. It does look as though much hotter air, we'll talk about this in the European outlook, much hotter air going to be surging northwards across much of Europe next week. How far north and west that goes, whether we tap into that in the UK and Ireland looks like it's going to be kept out of it, I have to say. Famous last words. Where we can tap into that in southern and east parts of the UK remains to be seen. It looks as though it's going to be very brief before low pressure sweeps it away and pushes it aside. But we shall see and watch this space. It certainly looks like we're going to have our warmest spell of weather next week since late June. Anyway, let's put it that way. Right, okay, just so coming up tomorrow, got 6 AM UK weather forecast, revamped and revitalised. We've got JMA Friday and a 10 to 14 there, so please keep checking back to the channel for more. But for this one, that's all for now, and thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and bye for now.